Well, on the global markets front, all three US indices saw a good surge on Thursday. Mind you, third consecutive day in the green, so definitely a positive. The Dow also up in 3 out of the last 4 sessions. So clearly positive at the moment. When we're looking at, in fact, the S&P 500, it was up almost 1.5+%. So and the S&P 500 has been gaining quite well. It's the fourth consecutive day of gains for the S&P 500, the best streak in terms of days of gains, consecutive days of gains this year. So clearly there seems to be an uptick in play. The Nasdaq too was up nearly 2.3% over Wednesday. So positive cues across the board. The Dow also up around 1.1%, and energy stocks is what has led the rally, at least yesterday. Of course, energy being the key at the moment, especially since the Russia-Ukraine crisis has started. Energy has been in focus. But moving across to Europe, well, a couple of things which have held the key in Europe over the last day or so. One is, of course, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson stepping down. Despite that, the FTSE was higher. In fact, the FTSE gained, just throwing up that number, FTSE was up around 1.14% in trade yesterday. The DAX as well as the Stock 600 both were up nearly 2% in trade yesterday. So positive cues even in Europe, despite the UK Prime Minister resigning. When we're looking at Asia, though, Asia is largely in the green in early trade today. The Nikkei is up nearly 1.5%. Positive news, of course. There's some news trickling in that the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been shot. Former Prime Minister, I correct myself, Shinzo Abe has been shot, and despite that, at the moment we're looking at all green in Asia. We're looking at the Shanghai up around 0.25%, the Hang Seng up 0.9%, the ASX 200 up around 0.2%, and the Kospi also up around 1.25% in early trade today. The SGX Nifty also hinting at green at the moment, up around 0.7% as we speak, just before pre-open. So definitely a positive across the board at the moment. Moving quickly on to commodities, oil prices have in fact shot up a little bit. So that quick retreat that oil had faced has now seen a bit of a reversal, if I can call it. It's above, in fact, the $102 a barrel mark. This is crude. And when we're looking at Brent too is just below that $104.5 a barrel mark. So somewhere they are gaining, as largely this is due to tight supply fears despite the recession fears. So tight supply continues to be a problem where oil is concerned, and the energy basket continues to be problematic where inflation is concerned as well. When we are moving quickly on to gold, gold has maintained where it was yesterday, around $1,740 an ounce, despite the slight retreat that the dollar index has shown. So the dollar index has withdrawn itself from that 107 mark down all the way to 106.7, but it's still holding well above that 106.5 mark. And despite that retreat, gold continues to be at $1,740 an ounce, at least for the moment. Moving quickly to bonds, bond yields continued to rise. In fact, the US 10-year breached the 3% mark. It was at 2.9% yesterday, and it was at almost below the 2.8% mark just a couple of days back. So this quick reversal in terms of bond yields, definitely one of those movements that have happened post the FOMC minutes release. That's what's really triggered bond yields, it seems, and bond yields are headed higher, at least currently. Moving quickly and lastly on to crypto. Well, crypto gained sharply as well. In fact, crypto started the week at around $19,000 where Bitcoin was, and currently it's at $21,500. So a quick movement that we've seen in crypto, quick gains. Even across altcoins as well, we've seen a 5 to 7% move through yesterday. So a strong set of gains coming through for cryptos. In fact, as we speak, Bitcoin is just a shade below the $22,000 mark. So positive for crypto investors. Currently, we're looking at a positive start, especially for Indian indices. The SGX Nifty is indicating that global cues are positive as well. So at the moment, a positive start is what we're seeing. Of course, positive end to the week is what we're hoping for.